Hello, everybody. I'd like to introduce you to Ruth Katz, the author of I Hungry. And today we're going to discuss her book, what motivated her to write it, and her story. So, hello, Ruth. Welcome.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you so much for having me. My book, I Hungry, is teaching kids how to eat healthy foods with their parents. It's called The Secrets to Making Food Healthy and Fun for Parents and Children. And it's a collaboration of love for the family in participating together.
That's wonderful. And how many kids do you have?
I have two sons, and I wrote this book when they were younger, and I didn't get to publish the book till they were in their 20s because I got divorced and I had to go back to work. But I'm actually glad that that happened because now I have grown men that are very healthy and very fit and of great sound mind. And I know now I have proof that the stuff that I did with them worked.
And what was the biggest issue that prompted you to write the book?
So I wrote I Hungry because I wanted to document my health journey. So growing up, I had a lot of food sensitivities and I needed to figure out what was wrong with me. And the doctors kept telling me it was in my head that I had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. But really, I had sensitivities to gluten and dairy. So I had to learn to heal myself. And from that journey, by the time that I had children, I wanted them to have a better foundation and better options than I had than growing up. Because my parents just didn't know any better. The times are different. The information wasn't available. But now there's a lot of information on this topic, and they got to benefit from my mishaps.
So, I Hungry isn't just about nutrition, it's about emotions as well, right?
Yes, because children are forced to do things from the second they wake up to the second they go to sleep, and they don't feel like they're in control, and they like to use their free will. So you can't actually get food that forced down their throats. You can't actually make children sleep. So they kind of work that with you because they want to feel like they have this independence. So you don't want to make it a struggle. You want to make them feel like they are in control and let them be part of the process and to help in the decision making.
Yeah, absolutely. And meals can sometimes become battlegrounds. What is sort of the first step to set so it doesn't reach that level?
Well, it's having the right foundation from the very beginning of exposing your small child, I mean, he's a baby, to different foods from different cultures and getting them used to different tastes and varieties.
Yeah, I agree. And it also helps with curbing allergies later in life when the earlier they're exposed to certain foods. You have to allow kids to try things. So if you're talking to the mother of a toddler, what's the first step to have those foods?
And even from infancy, you want to start with the vegetables. You don't want to start with the fruits. You want to get them exposed to all these different types of foods first and not to gravitate towards the sugar.
Right. And tell us about the importance of having kids try something, even if they're not going to finish it.
Right. So my favorite trick with them or tip is the no thank you bite. You get an option of trying it out. You don't like it? No thank you.
Right. And then also, when you're introducing new foods, you have to try more than once. Even if they say no, thank you, then you try it again. And it's not about a control issue, it's about exposing them to new experiences.
Typically, it takes about 15 times to try a new food. You just keep going with it.
Yeah, that's a long time. What's happening inside a mom when she makes like those decisions? Because she's got to really control her emotions because it can be stressful with kids.
It's very tiring because you have to go first buy the food, make the food, serve the food, try to get them to sit down and eat the food, clean up the food, sit down and relax for a moment, and they come back 20 minutes later. I'm hungry. And it starts all over again.
Yeah. And, speaking of making meals easy, when you're going out to a restaurant, it's nice to have someone else prep the food, but then you have to deal with those kid meals. What options you recommend in restaurants?
What really is kid meals anyway? it's really the parents and society's fault. Food is food. It shouldn't matter if you're a kid or an adult. It, the only difference might be the portion size. But we have to expose them to all foods, not tell them you're limited down to 10 foods, chicken nuggets, hamburgers, French fries, pizza. No, that's not it. Like it's our up to us to expose them.
Yeah, absolutely. So as kids go on play dates and they go to schools with meal plans and things aren't always that healthy, how can you kind of curb your child demanding to have that stuff at home too?
One of my favorite tips and tricks was to feed them a full meal before they went to the birthday party. So by the time they were there and then the cake and the junk was coming around, they weren't as, as inclined to have it. There's something called the crowding out theory, which I learned in the nutrition school that I went to, the Integrative Institute for Nutrition, where you crowd out the bad food with the good food.
And then tell us about lunches, preparing lunches, what you do.
I had the best lunch boxes in school. All the mothers were like, tell us how to do this. That's what inspired me to write the book. So my kids went to school with a bento box lunch box, like the Japanese lunch box or plates that are in compartments. And in the compartments was all easy things to put in there. Seaweed paper, chickpeas, hummus, cut carrots, cut celery, and turkey meatballs that I had preheated and then put in a thermos.
That's great because kids love to play with their food. And when meal times are playful and exciting, then I think they have a much better relationship with it too. So,
Yeah.
we're all visual, and especially with kids, having the mixing colors of the foods, and they're more, I think, enticed to eat the healthy foods when it's visually appealing.
And if they're in the process with you, food shopping with you, we would go after school and go, okay, let's go to the market. They would have their own cart. They would pick out their foods. I would pick out my foods, but they came back with really good foods. Till this day, they really do pick good foods because I set them on the foundation of eating real food where it satisfies you. If you're going to eat pizza, you're that's going to break down in your body not so nutrient dense
Yeah.
and you'll be hungry in 20 minutes. So it's about feeling satisfied from getting the real nutrients in your body.
Yeah, that's really very important. The mixture of crunch and softness and textures that all plays in together.
Yes, because you think about taste buds when you're young, your taste buds are very strong. And so kids, they need to smell the food. Everything like sour is very sour and sweet is very sweet. As you get older, the taste buds dull. If you think about older people, they're not as interested in food because they're not really tasting it. So they have to feel comfortable. They have to smell it, check it out, make sure the texture is okay. Then we try the th no thank you bites. Is it okay? Is it going to be all right? Oh, this is not so bad.
Yeah, let's see the cover of your book again because you need to tell moms how you created that.
Right. So this is not cooking. This is an easy preparation to get out of the house in the morning. I have two eggs and a bell pepper, making a cute face with an olive nose and carrot mouth and, lettuce and tomato, all to make it fun and healthy and easy for everybody.
Yeah, I can see why your lunch boxes were so successful because that's really fun. Tell us why you wrote the book in terms of your own health journey and what that meant to you.
So what I learned about myself is my bio-individuality, which is very important to know how your body reacts to things. So two things that really helped me was learning to eat from my blood type. And so I'm O positive, the most universal, and my sons are both O positive as well. And we feel that feel much better when we're eating high protein and low carb because that's statistically shown to help that blood type. Also, to know what foods that we could be sensitive to. And a great test that we all did was a blood test called the ALCAT test.
That's great. What it specifically is the ALCAT? Is that something that you would go to the pediatrician or your doctor to get?
Yes, it's a blood test that will test your body against different food allergies.
And then it's also important to balance and make sure that you're getting the all the vitamins. You can take supplements, but the real foods are really the juice that gets our bodies going.
My book is all gluten and dairy free because that's how I eat, because I have those food sensitivities. But I think it's good to expose people to different foods that you wouldn't even know or that are lacking the gluten and the dairy. Another good point is that it's how the food is treated these days. There's so many pesticides on the food. So it may not be that you have a wheat allergy, it's that you're getting the fungicide, herbicides, what they're spraying on the wheat. So a great tip that I learned at Integrative Nutrition School was to eat to your 80% full. There's a Japanese saying called hara hachibu. So to feel not completely full, but 80% full. You're setting a foundation for life, that it's not about the path of least resistance. To take the time to set the tone of the mealtime together as a family. You want to be together and have the bonding time. No TV, no phones. Participate in the conversation and finish the meal together. Everyone eats the same foods together and everyone leaves and cleans up together.
Ruth, thank you so much for being with us today. Tell everybody where they can find your book.
My book is everywhere that books are sold, and it's called I Hungry: The Secrets to Making Food Healthy and Fun for Parents and Children.